Okay, guys, well, welcome to Family Time. I'm sure the crowd will swell as we go along, but let's start with our mission statement. Can I have a volunteer this morning for the mission statement? Who would like to read this and then make a comment on it, particularly if you've never done it before? Or I can just pick someone.
Hi, Steve. I'll go.
Okay, go for it, listener.
To build our mission, to build a growing collaborative family of agents around the country who support each other to run strong, ethical, profitable businesses in which everyone caps and increases their personal income. Many will also become financially free through the EXP Revenue Share Program and stock awards. In this way, as a group, we will bring positive, disruptive change to the real estate industry in South Africa. And my comment is, I don't think it's just nationally, it's internationally. And we should start thinking out of the box a little bit. I think that's my biggest challenge for everyone. After I was just in Cabo, I just realized we get in a cocoon in South Africa because we're so far south. We need to remember that the world's actually very, very small.
And listener, are you happy to give us a little bit more feedback from Cabo?
Yes. Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah, go for it.
I think since I've heard of Build Conference, obviously through you and knowing that it came from Brent originally. So immediately I was like, oh, what is this thing that we're doing in South Africa that's also international? And I've been wanting to go. But I do think we make so many excuses so easily for ourselves. Myself and Daniel literally one day coming from gym in January this year decided that we're going to go. And I think in our Build Conference, I spoke about it this year, is the decisions. So in the decisions we make is where the power lies. It's so easy to just keep on putting something off or making up excuses for it. But if we make a decision to do something, I think that is the very first step. The conference was mind-blowing. I mean, it literally, the balls in the pool have got the logo on them. It's displayed on the building with the one big fire. So for those of you that don't know, it's about putting all of our little fires together and making one big fire. And obviously Brent and Jean hosting it was amazing. And they made such an effort to make myself and Daniel feel welcome because obviously we're the only South Africans that were there. And then there was another couple with a 6-month-old baby from the UK. So I'll bring that back to you guys going, you really don't have any excuses not to go. The speakers were mind blown, the whole spirit, but I don't think it's just about the speakers. It's about the network that you build. It's about really plugging into the company on an international basis when you're there. People are so open to share what they do and what's going on in their life. And like people that's been in the business for 8 years in EXP will just like want to collaborate with you and walk around and share the things that they've been doing over the last couple of years and what's been working for them. So it's not just about the speaking part of it. It's also about the network. And then obviously myself and Daniel thought if we're going to go that far, we're going to turn it into a little bit of a holiday. So we went earlier, which I think was vitally important for us. I think since we've had our kids, I mean, Aiden turns 15 this year. Everything is about the kids. It's about work and your holidays are around the kids and everything is about the kids. And it was so nice to have a holiday that is not just about work or the kids, but really is about us. So I think personally, we've had such a good relaxing time and such good growth that we can bring that back and hopefully pour that into you guys.
Well done, listener. And well done for taking the plunge for going. Glad you had an amazing time. And I've said to listener and some of our leaders before, I can't wait for the day where there's going to be a healthy group of us that get to travel together, travel the world. As listener says, there's so many incredible things that happen within EXP around the world that you guys probably don't even know about. There's amazing people, there's amazing events, there's incredible experiences just waiting out there for us. That's part of the benefit of being a part of such a massive business with such strong leaders in other countries. And I know it's a long way and I know it's expensive, but as listener says, you know, why not you? So yeah, awesome stuff. Well done to you guys. And then that leads us into welcoming you if you're here for the first time. So Family Time is the name of our team meeting. Kind of just came to be called that because we were informally calling it that right in the early days. And it really is a place for us to connect and build relationships, and everybody can have their say. And we like to keep it quite informal. So lucky to have you. Obviously, would love you to have your cameras on if you are comfortable to do so. And if you're here for the first time, obviously you're welcome to sit on the sidelines and just drink it in a little bit. But if you are comfortable, please stick up a hand. We'd love to hear where you're from, if you're newly joined to EXP, or maybe you're just a guest here this morning. And if you are, you're very, very welcome. We're glad to have you here. So yeah, Michelle, you've got your hand up.
Hi, can you hear me, Steve?
I can, Michelle. Great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, my camera's off. I got a new laptop. Thank you, EXP. I see Liv's not laughing. It was on my goals last year, so I did do it. I've got a visitor on, Beandri. I have been speaking to her, and she's not an agent, but she's going to be amazing. And she's popped onto the meeting today, so we can say hi, Beandri, and welcome her. I think she's in Melkbos. I don't know if she wants to talk. She might want to talk.
Well,
okay.
Beandri, you're very, very welcome. And if you would like to talk, you're welcome to just stick your microphone on and say hi to everyone. But either way, you're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks, Michelle. Anybody else want to say how's it? Pleasure, Beandri. Chanel de Toy. There's a little microphone button at the bottom of the screen, Chanel. You just click that and your mic should come on. Otherwise, Paul, you go first, or late. Okay, there we go. Chanel, how's it?
Hello, good, thanks. You. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chanel. I'm new in Lizna's team. I've joined 2 weeks ago, and I'm from Limpopo, Modimolle, Nelstroom.
Well, you're very welcome, Chanel. Nice to have you in the team. Hope you're enjoying EXP, and I hope it's very prosperous and happy new season in your life.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Alette.
Yes, we've got some guests on the meeting today as well, Herman and Marda, and I think there might be some more guests. So just want to say you're more than welcome to say something if you want to, but I'm glad you are able to join us today.
All right. Good luck. Thanks, Alette. Okay, guys. Well, if you still want to stick your hand up, you're welcome to. I'll call on you then, but otherwise I'm going to keep going. So kudos and thank yous. Okay, Herman, you go ahead.
Yeah, morning, guys. Sorry, man. I've got a bit of a problem. I'm on my phone. I'm on the road. So, yeah, I just got out the vehicle. I'm Herman. I'm from Kenton Park. I've been in contact with Alette for quite a while. I think it's about 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and it's actually the first time that I've joined. I've been following you guys on the net for quite a while. I'm in the market at the moment, and yeah, happy to be here and happy to hear what you guys are doing and how you guys are growing. I'm looking forward to joining the team if possible. Thank you.
Right. So Herman, have you been an agent with another agency, or are you getting into the real estate market for the first time?
Sorry, let me just see if I can get my camera on. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know if you can see me. Yeah, I was in the market, well, as an agent for 1.5 years with an agent on the East Rand. More on the industrial side. I've been in logistics for over 30 years. So I've started going on my own this year, being a broker and an entrepreneur. But yeah, like I say, this is something that I definitely have been looking forward to for quite a while. And I think it's quite exciting. So yeah, I want to get back into it. And I think this is a place to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. It's a place to be. Yes. Baie welkom, Herman. Dankie.
Baie dankie. Waardeer.
Okay, guys, good. So kudos and thank yous. What's this all about? Well, we love to share some positive vibes in family time. And I think it's good that you actually give a formal slot in your team meetings for positive vibes. So if you've got some positive vibes for someone, just to say thank you to them for something they did, or they shared a lead with you, or they helped you on something that you needed, or some document you were after, don't just let it slide by. Take the chance now to say thank you, or to just give someone kudos for something that you know that they did that you're proud of them for. So stick up a hand if you've got kudos and thank yous to do. All right, Lizna, you take it away.
I just want to say a special thank you to Marius and Steph. We are running some training and they took complete control of that while I was away, and I really appreciate it. Not just that, just on the groups as well. I really appreciate the team working together and for Marius and Steph taking control. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Good stuff, guys. Sharon.
Hi, morning, Steve. Morning, everybody. You know that we got back from Build and Gavin took ill almost immediately. And I really want to thank everybody that showed concern and sent us messages and was praying, because it was quite serious. I thought I lost him, but God is good. He is 80% there, as I said, and we're nearly right through, and I'm back selling again, which hasn't been since January. And so it's been quite a tough time, but I want to thank our family for all the concern, all the messages, all the prayers. It was much appreciated.
Thanks so much, Sharon. And you continue to be in our prayers, obviously, Gavin, as well. Morning, Shelley. Charles, can you get your mic on?
Hello, morning.
Okay.
I would just like, how's it? Fine and you? I would like to thank Lydia and Andre. Lydia has sent me a lovely lead and we've just tied up the deal. It's just registered. So thank you, Lydia, for a great lead. And to Andre, Flip, he's just amazing. I contact him often, mostly about ChatGPT or some kind of form or something. And he is always answers me straight away and is just amazing with giving me advice. So thank you, Andre and Lydia.
Shelley, I can second that wholeheartedly for you about Andre and Lydia. And Andre is so often my go-to guy when I need help with stuff. And even now, recently, he's been very helpful with preparing for something we're doing with EXP. So, yeah, Andre, we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Both amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. Lydia, you had your hand up.
Yes, Steve, I actually just wanted to say to Shelley, thank you so much for taking such good care of my client. It's an old client of mine from Durbanville that moved to PE, and she was excellent. I mean, they had the house on the market for some time with another agent, and I asked them to go in and they sold it, and the people are so happy. So thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate it.
You know, one of the most beautiful things about EXP, if you're here as a guest this morning, like Herman or whatever, you're going to learn that EXP, by and large, is an incredibly collaborative business. Obviously, each EXP agent being an independent contractor, they've got their own right to decide whether they share their listings or how they work, etc. But for the most part, EXP agents are very good at working with each other. And I think it's an incredible culture that we've managed to build. And I would encourage you to do so. You know, what you lose on the swings, you gain then twice fold on the roundabouts. I know I'm twisting that old phrase, but it'll come back to you in spades. Christine, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. I just want to give a thank you to the people of my team that are here this morning. You just said something very important now in terms of working together, that it is each and every agent's choice how to work together. Although our team culture is one of collaboration, and that is also in terms of our people being here, it is a choice. This is not a compulsory meeting. And I've seen the loyalty in our team of a wonderful group of people. You don't often hear them talk on a meeting, but they are here. And I just appreciate that, because you have to show up. If you want to be successful, you have to show up. And that is something that these people understand. And they do their thing, and they do their sales and everything, and they reach out to people building their teams. And I just want to give an appreciation. I do not want to mention all the names. I might skip some names, but they know who they are, and my team is here, and I'm proud of them, and I want them to know that I'm proud of them.
Super, Christine. Well said. Morning, Ash. Happy
Morning,
birthday for the other day, and well done for capping the day after your birthday.
Thanks so much. That's why I put up my hand. I just wanted to say, guys, you overwhelmed me with messages last week, and you made my day full of sunshine. I am so blessed to be a part of this company. Just wanted to say, guys, for those looking in, you have just come into a family that really cares, because they just shower you in the highs, and then they're with you in the lows. Like Sharon said, when you need team members, they genuinely care, and it was so evident last week. So I just want to thank you all. I'm still working through messages, but I just want to say thanks for all the love last week. I really appreciate it, and happy birthday to all the guys that have been celebrating in and around mine too. Yay, March babies.
So, Ash, I'm going to cut in. Sorry, Marius and Corin, I'll get to you guys in a second. Let me cut in with one of my kudos and thank yous, because Ash just said, everyone showers you with kind wishes, etc. But here's a little lesson in life. If you are the one who is always blessing other people, and you're always kind, and there's no drama that follows you, generally you're the one who's going to get showered with blessings on your birthday. And Ash, you have been such a positive, vibrant, encouraging, selfless person in our group. And everybody knows your big, beautiful smile and your beautiful heart. And that's why, you're reaping as you've sown, I think is what I want to say. And I want to thank you for that. And that then reminds me of somebody else whose birthday it was. I think it was the day after yours. So Jan Tromp's birthday was yesterday. And Jan, if you're on the call, I don't know, but I just wanted to say that you are exactly as I've described Ash now. That's what you've been to us over the last 4 years. And you've served us. And every time there's been a legal question on the group, you're happy to help out. And we've really appreciated you. And guys, if you ever have a problem with your conveyancer and you haven't tried working with Jan Tromp yet, can I recommend that you give Jan a go. Start working with him if you have the need to do so. Good man, and happy birthday to him for yesterday. All right, who was next? Marius.
Morning, Steve. Morning, everyone. Just a shout out to Christel Jansen van Rensburg. I dealt with her early on last year. She's had a buyer that wanted to buy an EE, and he's busy selling his property here in Brackenfell. And it was a mandate with another agency, and I could see it was overpriced, and I spoke with the agent, and she didn't really want to let me in. So I was sitting in the sideline waiting for the 3-month mandate to expire. So I approached the seller, and I said to him, I've got a buyer, I want to bring someone through. I opened it up to the EXP agents. And eventually that evening I phoned him. I said, listen, I believe the tenants told me there's another agent coming in at 1 o'clock to take photos. There's another agent coming in at 4 o'clock. I'm coming in at 9 and again at 5. I said, I know you don't want to give a mandate to someone, but you cannot do this to the tenants and have your property exposed like this. Let me just take charge and assist you with things. He said to me, Marius, I don't know who's the agent that's coming to take photographs. I've given no one permission to do that. I don't know what's going on. Listen, do me a favor, just send me that mandate form. Let me just sign it, because I cannot continue working with people like this and having my property exposed like that. So I closed that mandate immediately. The client asking for the mandate paper, which was amazing. But thanks so much, Christel, for opening that up to me. And it's so amazing to share the property with the other agents, and other agents sharing their leads with us as well.
Awesome. Cool, Marius. Nice feedback. Thank you. Corin, good morning.
Hallo Steven, ek gaan nou maar die Afrikaanse ding doen. Ons wil net, ek en Pieter wil net graag vir Andrei. Ek wil in die eerste plek vir Andrei dankie sê, hy het my gehelp met ChatGPT. Baie dankie daarvoor Andrei, en dan ook wil ek en Pieter vir Andrei en Lydia baie dankie sê dat hulle so gou gereageer het op 'n listing wat ons gekry het daar onder in Kraaifontein en dat hulle dadelik ingeduik het en met die ding hol. So baie dankie julle.
Dankie, ja, André, dankie. Nee, vir julle baie dankie, Steve. Yeah, if I can just chip in, I know it's Elmary's turn, but thank you very much, you guys. You're a blessing to us all, and thank you for the lead as well. We're really excited about it.
Karen, praat ChatGPT Afrikaans.
Ja, ek kan Afrikaans praat.
Morning, Elmarie. Oh,
Morning, everyone. I'm a bit out of my comfort zone. I'm sitting in Port Elizabeth at my sister's, so I had to move around. I just want to say thank you for Nicola Trichardt in Johannesburg. She helped me to sell a property there, and she was very effective, and I was proud to work with her. Thank you, Nicola.
Thanks, Elmarie. That's good to hear. And I know Nicola is on the call, I think. If you wanted to respond, you're welcome, Nicola. Otherwise, great to hear that you guys are working together.
Thanks, Elmarie. Thank you so much for trusting me with that one. That's very good.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, good stuff. Did I miss anyone with their hand up? I don't think so. Okay, good to hear. So some kudos, which we always like to celebrate who has kept in the last 2 weeks. So a huge congrats to you, Ash, to Louise Duplessis, who has now capped for the 4th time in a row. I think she is now the most capped agent at EXP. I'm sure there'll be some others hot on her tail now. But well done to Louise. Well done to Theo. I saw Theo's on the call earlier. Well done to Dimitri Janari and to Corin de Vet. Well done, Corin and Peter. Lekker to see you guys. Yo, I remember Peter and Corin joined and they had the most restraint of trade. They actually had to move towns when they joined EXP because their previous principal was such an unpleasant, belligerent, I'm sure there's a good Afrikaans word for it, Corin, but oh, what an unpleasant individual. And it really took you guys time to reestablish yourselves. And it was just, I just rejoiced when I saw that you guys had kept, and I'm so proud of how you guys have hung in there. So well done. Okay, that's that. And then our leaderboard. So this is the agent attraction side of things. What movement? So the first thing I just wanted to highlight Neil Robinson, who's just gone over 50 agents in his group. Brilliant, Neil. Well done. And then Tia Carlet's added someone to her first tier, so she jumped up a couple of spots. She's in the top 10. Well done, Tia. Good to have you back. In fact, I'm pretty sure, Tia, we're going to have you back in the Leaders Mastermind shortly. So Tia's been hovering around 15 frontline for a while. She'll go down to 14, then 15, then someone will leave, and then so I keep having to remove her from the Leadership Mastermind. It's terrible, although everyone in the mastermind understands how it works. If you don't have 15 on your first tier, you get booted off. But it's always just such a horrible thing. I don't know if you've ever removed anyone from a WhatsApp group, but it's like, I don't know, I have this whole like conscience attack as I'm removing her and anybody else. But
I want to cry every single time.
Yeah. Anyway, look forward to welcoming you back to that tier. Well done. Mary Bailey. Mary worked hard to have a couple of really good people at the Build conference, and it's good to see that that's beginning to pay off. And yeah, I wonder if anybody else here would say that the Build conference, they're starting to see the growth in their business from Build. I certainly am. So very happy about that. Vian van Wyk jumped up, having added another person to his first tier. So Vian's doing a great job. Gerda Kutsia back on the mastermind group because she's up to 5 first tier, and she jumped straight up to 28th spot because she's got 13 in her group. And then both Jeremy Martin and Skulk Shepherd have grown by 1 person in their RevShare group, so they jumped above Lisa. So well done to everybody. And yeah, congratulations to Neil for passing that 50 agent mark. I mean, that's quite something, hey? Like if you were to speak to a conventional principal, you know, how many principals in the country have managed to get 50 agents in their business, in their team? Very, very few. And I mean, there's just like so many of us that are managing to do it because of EXP's model. It's phenomenal. Right. So congratulations to the agent attraction leaders. So we haven't done book of the month for a while, and I thought we'll have a little bit of time this morning, and then I'm going to hand back over to Willem. But so my daughter has recently read this book. It was a gift from Lisna, actually, and I can't tell you the effect it's had on my daughter's life. We also run a young adults group on a Thursday evening in our home, and we've got sort of 30 odd 18 to 25-year-olds that meet every Thursday evening in our home. And I got chatting to someone who was somebody's sister. She was there for the first time on Thursday, and she was talking about she was talking about one of the concepts in Atomic Habits. And as soon as she mentioned it, I said to her, "Oh, that's from the book Atomic Habits." She said, "Yes, busy reading, and it had such a profound impact on her." And then, you know, I've been hearing about it back and forth. So here's my copy, and I would recommend you get yourself a copy of this book if you've not done so. It really is a very powerful concept. So any comments? Anybody who's read that book and you want to give some feedback on it?
Steve, I absolutely love this book, and that's why I thought it was such a nice gift for the India last year. I actually have not read the complete book because I'm trying to implement at the same time, but it has made a huge change on my morning habits. So I think that kind of sets you up for the day. I think previously I took pride in the fact that I open my eyes and I start working, but that does not make you more productive. I think setting out a good morning routine for yourself where you plan your day, where you spend time with God, where you spend time with your family, it can have such a profound impact on your life. So I can highly recommend this book. I do think it's life-changing, and even if you're not a reader, set yourself out to read 5 pages throughout the week. So whether it is 15 minutes you spend somewhere or 2 minutes at a time, I do think that this can make a huge, huge impact on your life.
Super, Lisna. Thank you. And thank you for giving that to my daughter as a gift. Paul, Alette, you guys read it?
No, we haven't read it, but we did start in the morning when we wake up. We start to watch motivational videos on YouTube in the morning before we start our day, and we came across this Atomic Habit. It was just like a summary of the book. So we've watched that, and that already made a huge difference in my life. I'm not someone that reads books. But since I've watched that summary, I've read 3 books already. So starting with that 1 or 2 pages a day, just getting into the habit of doing things. I'm using the Microsoft What to Do app. So I've set up my things that I want to do daily, and every day I just go and tick it off. So it really made a huge difference in just getting our life a little bit more balanced, because when you start working, you forget about exercise or reading a book or just relaxing. So that really helped me to just get a little bit better balance in my life.
Awesome. Well, I take my hat off to you guys, the many of you who are Afrikaans sprekend, because for you guys to read a book which is obviously not a easy story or something like that, in the language it's not your home language, I understand it is much tougher for you guys. If I had to read this in Afrikaans, it would be, well, I mean, I told you I got 16% for Afrikaans at university, and therefore had to leave university. So I'd get 16% of the book if I were to read it in Afrikaans. So well done to you guys. And I see somebody has said in the chat, I think Ash said that it is available on Audible. So if you want to get the audio book version, maybe that's something that'll work better for you guys. So good. I wanted to recommend that. Thank you. And yes, I want to also promote the Race to the US of A. I don't know if you've seen this on the EXP channels. This is the latest incentive that EXP South Africa have launched. It is to win all expenses paid tickets to EXP Con which will probably be in Miami, I would imagine. And that's for not this year, but next year, the 2026 EXP Con. What do you have to do to qualify? Excuse me. You have to sponsor 12 people personally. So onto your first tier between the 1st of March this year, which has just gone, and the 28th of February next year. So you've got the next 12 months essentially to sponsor one person a month. And if you sponsor 12 people, you will get entered into the draw. So however many people qualify, they will then do a sort of descending draw. It's always quite fun the way they do it. So, yep, go for it. I'm certainly going to go for that because EXP Con is an incredible experience. And the first year I won this competition and I went for free. It was an unbelievable blessing to me. It's a lot of money we're talking about to get to America and pay the price of the ticket and the hotel, etc. So it's a wonderful prize. Okay, that brings us to 9 o'clock, exactly when I wanted to hand over to Willem. So I'm not sure what Willem has planned to do today. He may give a little summary of what he spoke about last time, but Willem is my personal accountant. He does all of I've got a company, he does my company tax, he does my VAT returns as in my individual capacity, he does my personal tax return, he does the tax on another organization that I have. So he has been a huge blessing to me in keeping my finances organized over the last few years. So I asked Willem last week, 2 weeks ago, to give a little overview of what it means to be a provisional taxpayer and how to go about organizing your taxes. And I was so amazed, I was blown away by how many of you contacted me or on the meeting said how disorganized you are on your tax and how you need someone to help you. I was shocked, actually. I kind of assumed everybody's on top of their tax affairs, and I realized that is not the case. So then somebody asked me if we could do this. Could we not speak to Willem, and could he not put a sort of standard package together for an EXP agent? Because he understands our business. So that it's not like, you hire an accountant and then they just bill you for the number of hours they're working, and you never know how much the bill is going to be every month. That's one of the big problems with accounting services. And one of the things I love about DoGet is that they quote you a flat monthly fee, and that's what you're going to pay. So I said to him, could we create some kind of special offer or discounted price if I helped him make his services available to the whole of the group? And they were very happy to do that. They would love to work with you guys. And I know that's something else that Willem is going to share today, is what they've come up with as far as a sort of discounted special package for EXP agents. I will leave it to each of you to contact Willem afterwards if you want to use his services. And I'm sure that he will give you his contact details today. So, Willem, if you are with us, over to you.
Thanks, Steve, and good morning, everyone. It's nice to be back. I really had a good time 2 weeks ago when we spoke about all things tax, although it was a concise all things tax in a small nutshell. And I'm sure as I get to interact with many of you afterwards, we will be able to unpack that in a lot more detail. The things I wanted to just share with us this morning, firstly, as Steve alluded to, is the special offer. I'm going to share my screen in a few minutes and what that means and how that could potentially help you. But before I do that, I want to just briefly talk about the whole idea of sorting out administration, getting things into order, and also just demonstrating how easy it is and should be. And I'm going to start with a story. A few years ago, shortly before COVID, we did a trip up north. I like road trips, so we chose to drive from George to Pretoria, stopping over in Bloemfontein for a couple of nights because we've got a team that's based there as well. And there's an amazing farm just outside of Bloemfontein. So before you enter Bloem from the south, they offer overnight accommodation, and of course, being on a farm in that part of the country, you can be sure you'll get the best lamb ever. And I'll never forget the one afternoon I was weary from the traveling. I was thirsty. It was hot. And I got there and they offered me some cold juices to drink, and then out come this plate with this beautiful, softly braised lamb neck. And it wasn't, you know, the chops that they cut and then you bride on an open grill. You know, that's nice, but it was softly braised in foil. And as you open it, there's a whole neck, and the meat literally fell off the bone. And then, you know, some other condiments on the side. The purpose isn't about the food. I'm getting to the story. And hopefully you're all hungry and are going to rush out to buy lamb after this. But the point is, we sat there and we had this wonderful lunch. And then the owners of the farm came to us, and they just started talking to us, and they were ruminating on the challenges they have with their accountant, not because of the accountant, but just because they were looking for a solution to help them stay on top of their admin. And how many of you know that when you want to get a financial report, there's a bit of legwork, heavy lifting, as they would say, to get numbers into a shape that you can use and that you can interpret and review so that you know what's happening. And many people would know that to be their shoebox, their proverbial shoebox filled with all sorts of pieces of paper. And at the end of the period, somebody's got to sit down, laboriously working through all of those documents to get the data into an Excel spreadsheet or into an accounting system. And it's really not nice to do it. In fact, if you think about that, the activity of lifting data from one source to the next is not a value-adding activity. It wastes time. And apart from that, it also opens the door for somebody to make an error, because after 10 times doing the same thing, you're getting tired. And so you get to a point where there's reducing returns in doing the same thing over and over, and you get to miss things. And then you end up with reports that are not accurate. So we then spoke to this couple, and we said to them, but wait, you don't have to go through that trouble. There's an app for it. And just a side note, whenever you face a problem or something that you need to solve from an administrative process, always ask the question, is there an app for it? Maybe there is. And if there's an app, it can make your life a lot easier. Now, for this issue of the shoebox of receipts and admin, there just so happens to be an app for it. There's two apps actually, but the one that we use is called HubDoc. HubDoc is part of the technology platform that we use to lessen that administrative burden for you. That app helps you to avoid having to keep a shoebox with receipts somewhere in a dusty corner, potentially losing it, along the way. That app helps you to lift the data from source documents into your system so that your reporting can happen faster and you can get to your numbers more in real time than what would otherwise have been the case. So how this app works is you literally on the go. Let's say you go to the shops or you go for to the restaurant for entertainment, or whatever the case might be, you pay and you get a credit card slip. You take your phone and the app uses your phone's camera. You snap a picture with the app and it automatically uploads that document into the cloud, and it converts the data into a digital format so that it automatically lands up in your accounting system. How beautiful is that? And when we told this couple about the solution, the lady, the wife of the couple, she looked at her husband, she punched him on the shoulder, and she said, "You see, I told you, there's got to be something like that out there to make our lives easier." And she started to cry. And this is not for dramatic effect. This really happened. She was so overcome with joy, knowing that there's somebody or something that's going to help them overcome this challenge. The other thing that this app solves is, I don't know how many of you would receive invoices from your suppliers or people that you have to pay money to via email. Maybe you've got a few apps that you use in your business, and they would send you a monthly bill that's a PDF attachment to an email. I don't know if that resonates with anyone. Now, with this app, you can also simply forward this email into this app, and it takes that PDF and it converts it into digital format, and it's in your accounting system without you having to touch any button to try and convert the information. So part of what we're going to offer, if you sign up with us, this app is part and parcel of the whole deal. When you onboard with us, we will show you how the app works. We'll help you to download it. We'll do some training without any additional costs so that you can then get onto the same bandwagon of not having to worry about your admin. And with that process, our clients are in a situation where at the end of each month, within a day or 2 days, their accounting is 99% up to date and complete. They can already start to look at their reports. And that is really, in our world, what it means to be on top of your finances all the time. Because the sooner you get to understand how you've performed for the last month, the sooner you get to see what your financial health looks like, the more relevant that information is and the easier it is for you to make better, more informed decisions. And that's really where all of us would like to be. So I'm looking forward to showcase that to you. But what I want to do is I want to briefly share my screen and just elaborate a bit more on the special offer that we spoke about. So just give me a second. Great. I assume you can all see my screen. Awesome. So I've shared this document with Steve. He's gonna forward it to you all. You can have a look at it in more detail in your own time. But the idea with this is that, as Steve mentioned, we offer a fixed monthly fee to our clients for the work that we do. Now, in this table, as you can see, there are 4 options. And then on the left-hand side, we've demonstrated, or we've detailed the scope of the service we offer. So options 1, 2, and 3 assumes that you are an agent that operates in your personal capacity. In other words, you do not have a company. You just need, this technology platform that I was referring to, which is Xero, and that includes HubDoc. You need somebody to assist you with your provisional tax, and then also with your personal income tax. And in tier 3, it also means that you are VAT registered. So tiers 1 and 2, you are not VAT registered. Tier 3, you are VAT registered. And then tier 4 is if you operate within a company. So as you can see, it progressively gets more expensive. These dots in each column then indicates what is included and what is not included in the package that we offer.
Philip,
Now,
can you zoom in a little bit on the doc?
Yes, sorry, let's do that.
Thanks.
Okay, great. So there you go. So you can see, for example, tier 1, it gives you the technology platform. You get a financial health check once every 6 months, provisional tax and personal tax. How is that different from tier 2? Well, it's exactly the same, except for the fact that the financial health check happens every quarter instead of every 6 months. Now, what is the financial health check? The financial health check is one of the steps that we take as part of our value chain of activities to make sure that the numbers make sense. And then when you look at it, you can rely on it. It's one thing to process data. And as I've just explained with HubDoc, a lot of that data processing can now be automated without a person having to do the work. But still, there's a reality that information is processed, there could still be errors. So the 99% completion is once all the bookkeeping and accounting has happened, the financial health check is another pair of eyes, a fresh pair of eyes, looking at the numbers and simply asking, do these numbers make sense? So depending on how often you want that to happen, either every 6 months or every quarter, you'll see that there's a slight difference in price. Tier 3 is then, that happens every 2nd month. And somebody told me the other day, bi-monthly could mean twice a month, or it could mean every 2nd month. So bi-monthly in this instance is every 2nd month. And the reason we've offered that as an option is because of the VAT compliance. So if you become a VAT vendor, typically people have to submit VAT returns every 2nd month. So we always like to do a financial health check on the numbers before we submit the VAT to make sure that the numbers are correct. Then in addition to that, if you also employ people in your team and you want to run a payroll, we can have that as an add-on, and that we price at $719 per month. And then in addition to that, you also may want to have a meeting with us. So not only would the financial health check be beneficial, but you would like to discuss your numbers with someone that can help you interpret the numbers in a bit more detail and maybe act as a soundboard if you've got any questions. So those can also be added as an add-on. And all these prices, the monthly fees for the 4 tiers, as well as these add-ons, are quoted VAT inclusive. So if you are not a VAT vendor, this tier 1 and tier 2 and these add-ons, that's your actual cost. If you are a VAT vendor, your cost will be either this 5,000 less VAT or the 6,400 less VAT, and these add-ons would also be less VAT. That will be your cost to your profit and loss account. Okay. In addition to that, if as part of Steve's family, you sign up for this deal, we are going to host exclusive quarterly masterclasses. And those masterclasses will cover a range of topics from, the tax updates, technology updates, how you can use it more, in a better way to improve efficiency, or anything else that may be of relevance. We will create a car park, and so from time to time questions may come up, and we can consider to incorporate those in masterclasses. But these masterclasses will be held exclusively for you as a group of EXP agents within Steve's team, and that comes at no additional cost. That's already baked into what we're going to offer as part of this exclusive deal. And then lastly, if you are interested, I know some of you already reached out to us, and thank you very much for that, and we look forward to continue the conversation. But if you are interested, if you want to know more, you can contact Renee McLeod. She's also in this call. There's a number, there's an email address. She is our community manager. So usually when somebody contacts Go-Getters for the first time, she's the person who welcomes you into the family. We also have a family. And she normally then arranges a meeting with you. And that meeting she uses to ask a whole host of questions. And that just helps us to understand exactly what your needs are and how we need to cater for you when we do a proposal. That might be followed up by a second meeting. That second meeting might involve another person that is, most likely going to handle the work with you going forward. We then send you a proposal with one of these options. You accept the proposal, and once you've accepted the proposal, we start with an onboarding process that we run. What we find is when we start to work with people for the first time, there's a necessary investment that needs to be made to understand how you operate. And it's just cost that is associated with doing it for the first time. It's also something we don't charge for. We see that as an investment, because when we onboard new clients, we look at that as a lifetime relationship. And that's just the nature of the services, and that's how we see it. So I'm very happy to do that. I feel like I've spoken a lot. Steve, I wonder if I should take a quick break, maybe ask for questions or comments.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, guys. Questions and comments for Willem, and you're welcome to ask any question, even if it's to tug on his ear for some free tax advice while you've got him for the next 10 minutes. Or specifically about these packages that he has put together for us. And Willem, we really do appreciate your making this available to us. Thank you so much. So stick a hand up if you've got a question or a comment about this, guys.
Sorry, can I just ask, I can't really see the prices on there. You're going to share it on the family group, Stephen?
Yes, I will. Willem, I don't think you've sent this PDF to me yet, but if you can email that to me, then I will forward. I'll put it on the WhatsApp group, guys, so you'll have it there.
Steve, I actually just sent it to your WhatsApp a few minutes ago. You can just forward that one. Yeah, the latest one, yeah, correct.
Awesome. Okay, and then who's Eugene?
Hi, good morning, Steve. Morning, everybody. Morning, Willem.
Morning.
I just wanted to know, man, it's fairly new to me. Previous real estate company I worked for, they did the pay slips and all that. So with EXP, I'm an independent contractor. I don't have a PTY LTD registered. So with regards to how would I actually, if I can ask, when I get a payment remittance like from EXP, would you be the guy that's gonna, or the company that's gonna open up payslip for me, for me to maybe get credit for another extra bond or something? Would you do all that work in one, manage that for me?
Yes. So let me just take one or two steps back. When you start out, you will most likely operate in your personal capacity. In fact, as an EXP agent, you will operate that agency in your personal capacity. You will have a choice how you can arrange your taxes. You can either do it without running a payroll, meaning that you are a provisional taxpayer and you're going to pay your taxes once every 6 months. So when you get your advice from EXP, you should look at that not as a salary per se. You should look at that as a part of your annual turnover that keeps on growing month by month. So that remittance advice from them would be shown as turnover in your profit and loss account. And we will then just need to make sure on a monthly basis, you put enough of that money aside in cash to fund your biannual tax payments in the future. So that's the one way one can do it. That's a good way to do it if you are disciplined in keeping the cash aside, and that's very important. If you feel that you need a stronger guardrail, then I would say, yes, let's set up a payroll for you so that we can rather make sure that you physically fund your tax payments on a monthly basis, which is then by way of your PAYE deductions. But yes, if you sign up with us, if you choose tier 1, for example, you also would then need to select the add-on, which is the payroll and the payroll-related taxes. Then we will manage that whole process for you.
Thank you, Willem.
Cool.
So Eugene, something I didn't go into today, but 2 weeks ago we were talking about having separate bank accounts, which has been tremendously helpful for me. So I have chosen the biannual payments. I pay at the end of Feb and I pay at the end of August. But obviously, as I get paid my revenue share every month, I'm needing to put money aside for tax. So I just take 42% and I put it straight across into another bank account. I've got a number of bank accounts on my Investec banking app. You can set them up and you can name them if you want to. And I believe all the banks are the same. And I've got one of my accounts is tax contingency. So money comes in. Well, the first thing I do is I put 42% of it across in my tax contingency fund. I do the same for the VAT. And then I've got the money when I need to pay at the end of Feb and the end of August. So I appreciate the opportunity to run a payroll and force yourself to pay the PAYE every 2 months. And maybe there's relational reasons you may want to do that. Maybe there's someone in your life that is constantly saying, "Yo, you've got money in that account. We can just take some money out." You know, other people can pressure you to use the money that's been set aside for tax. So I think that is a valid concern. But if you don't have that concern and you've got the discipline, just set up another account and put the money across every month. Right, next was Cheryl. Go for it. Can you
Hi, Willem. I just wanted to know, do you use Sage as your accounting package?
No, we use Xero exclusively.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I just wanted to know. But if anything was kept on an Excel spreadsheet, you could just import everything or work it from there.
Yeah. So what we would do is we would if stuff is on Excel, we would bring it into Xero for the first time, and then we would want to encourage you to stay on Xero just because it's so much easier to do it. And if that's the case, that's also some effort. There will be investment required in doing that. We will also do that without charging anything extra.
Okay, thanks very much.
Brilliant. Johan?
Yeah, I think my question is similar to Cheryl's. I'm using QuickBooks Online, Willem.
Yes.
And so I do all my own accounting. So I guess we have to move across to Xero and do our accounting on the Xero package then.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're always careful to tell people that they have to do something because you know, I think what we are saying is that you know, the offer that we presented is designed in a way that we have almost 90% predictability in terms of how things are going to happen. And I'm sure you can appreciate for accountants who's grown up with the idea that you charge by the hour, which obviously makes it easy for us. Because we can turn the tap on and off as we wish.
I think we've lost Willem. Let me send him a message.
I did, Stephen. It's Renee. I've just messaged him.
Okay, thanks, Renee. Well done.
It could be our very overcast weather we're having today.
Yeah. Willem is based in George, so.
I was wondering if somebody else uses Zero, because I only know Pastel or whatever it's so Sage 1 now. But does Zero also pulling your banking transactions in automatically while we're waiting for Willem?
Yeah, so you actually synchronize or you integrate your bank accounts, as many as you have, with Zero, and it automatically pulls in every transaction from your bank accounts into the Zero. Johan, so I've used Willem for years, so I have a Zero account, but I can honestly tell you, I personally never go onto Zero. Their system is so good. Everything gets pulled into Zero. Every time I get an email with an invoice, like my MailChimp account, for example, there's 3,500 Rand a month. They email me the invoice for the monthly payment. I just forward it to HubDoc and forget about it. And and at the end of the year, my books are all in order. So you don't even have to be proficient on Zero. You're not going to have to learn new accounting software. It is such an easy process to keep yourself organized with what they've got.
Well, I've just spent my entire Friday doing my VAT for the 6-month period, so it would save me an entire day. So it's really exciting.
No, it's amazing. Johan, they just send you an email saying, this is how much you owe. Can we load the payment? Yes, you can. I go onto my banking app, I release the payment. Done. Yeah. Brad, while we're waiting for Willem, sorry, Renee, have you got an update?
No, yeah, it seems there seems to be a problem. I'm just, so if you guys want to maybe carry on, sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, I think we got through most of it. Brad, I know you've used go-getters.
I do, and I wanted to repeat the old maxim that there's only two certainties in life, and that is death and taxes. And this is such an important topic for us guys, particularly because we don't pay PAYE, so all of us are automatically provisional taxpayers. So it pertains to every single one of us. We all got to do our taxes. We don't have somebody holding our hands with us anymore. So I really encourage you to use this offer. Thanks, Steve, for setting up this offer with go-getters. I think it's brilliant. We needed this a long time ago. Go-getters is fantastic. I can only recommend them highly enough. And Zero is fantastic, as Steve said. It automates everything. It pulls your bank statements in. You can, it just reduces the load on you so much. And the cost or the expense that you pay to go-getters is worth its weight in gold, because they've reduced my tax liability down to its minimum every year. So what you pay to go-getters, you get back in the form of tax rebates. So really think about using them, guys. It's worthwhile.
Thanks, Brad.
Guys, the other thing, and then Cheryl or Bongi, I'll call on you. The other thing we did mention 2 weeks ago is if your turnover as an independent contractor is more than R1 million a year, in other words, your gross commission income is more than R1 million a year. So that'll be the capping agents. You have to register for VAT in your personal capacity. And there's a lot of agents that don't know that. And so you are actually, you're committing some kind of like legal offense, because you are meant to be collecting money on behalf of SARS and then paying it over to SARS. So you are going to need to register for VAT if your gross commission is more than R1 million, and then go-getters will do the VAT returns for you as well. I didn't know that was a thing, that in your personal capacity you had to register for VAT, but it is. Bongi.
Hi, hi, how are you, everybody? My question was on how I do my transaction. Actually, I didn't know where I fall in, whether I'm using personal, because I submitted the business account to collect my commission, but I'm not registered as an employee of the company. So I didn't know where I fall in. I wanted to ask first where I fall in, as well as I'm using a Zoho as my accounting tool, whether this is going to, I have to change to Zero.
If you were to use Willem and go-getters, you would probably need to move over to Zero. But let me just say this, Bongiwe, even though the commissions are getting paid into your company bank account, technically, legally, you are earning those commissions in your personal capacity, unless you joined EXP as a company, which I doubt you did. So EXP are happy to pay the commissions into a company's bank account, but technically you're actually, the money is being earned by you in your personal capacity, and you are loaning it to the company. It's a loan account to the company. So you still are having to pay personal income tax on those commissions. It doesn't actually matter what bank account it's getting put into.
Thank you. I understand.
Okay, great. But please reach out to Renee and to Willem.
Well, I just was going to say, Bongi, if you want to pop me an email, my email address is at the bottom of that form that Stephen's going to send you guys, and just write there exactly what you just said, and then I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll do that.
No problem.
Cheryl. Are you there, Cheryl? Okay.
It's not me. Sorry, my hand was up by mistake.
Okay. Johan.
Yeah, I see Renee's on the group. I was just going to ask if she could maybe send us a typical kind of chart of accounts to be used by real estate agents.
Say again, Johan.
Just a typical chart of accounts, you know, what typical accounts do we use, like accounting fees, commission income, marketing, entertainment, advertising, and things like that.
Okay, Johan, you can also just pop me an email, and then we can take it from there. Is that all right?
Yes, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm myself and Melissa, she's also on the call. We're the only non-accountants and in the whole company. So we can answer everything except for intricate accounting questions, but we give the accounting firm great personality. So we need some of the non-accountants. Although I think Willem's got enough personality for all
Renee,
of us.
I'm going to tell Willem you said that.
Now listen, Willem is the reason I joined the company, because he is so not your normal accountant. He is completely opposite to the normal accountants that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, for sure. Brad.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask regarding that question, whether we can maybe arrange a session with Willem about how we go about registering for VAT and what we need to do there, because that's a total unknown for me. And then I also wanted to ask Willem a question about under what circumstances does it make sense to operate or to register a company versus operating as a sole proprietor, whatever you call it.
Yeah, Brad, no problem.
I just want to say, Renee, I'm back.
Oh, hello.
Yes, thank you. I'm so
I hope
sorry,
you didn't hear
everyone.
me talking about you, Willem. I said very nice things.
Oh, very good. Thank you. You're too kind. Brad, I got that question, and I think it's an age-old question people ask all the time. And my view is that people tend to be too quick to go and register a company. The moment you register a company, you've now got two people to deal with. It will be yourself as a natural person, and you'll have a juristic person, both of which will have tax administrative responsibility. So in a certain sense, you can say that you duplicate your admin effort. So I'm always of the view that the longer you can postpone the need to create the company, the better. There's various reasons why you want to create a company. There's pros and cons, and I always say, the moment you get to a space where what you've got is something that you can ring fence, that might be of infinite more value in the next few years, that might be a good reason to do it, because then you can, if you wanted to sell that company or that business, it's much easier to sell shares than it is to sell goodwill, for example, or a list of names, or whatever the case might be. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, Willem, I think on the VAT question that Brad asked, it may be a good idea to focus one of those quarterly mastermind strat sessions that you're going to be doing. Maybe focus one of those on VAT. Because we were talking about, most people don't know that they have to register for VAT in their personal capacity.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that brings us to the end of family time. Willem, thank you again. Renee, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stephen.
I've put that document on our WhatsApp group if you're looking for it, and the contact details are on there. So please reach out directly to them, and happy accounting. So have a
Thank you,
good
Willem and Stephen.
pleasure, Cheryl. Have a good 2 weeks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Have a great week.
Thank you,
Bye,
Steve.
everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, bye.